In just a moment, Kent Martz will be on and ready to go. Please bear with us. So this is Paul G. Newton, and I see we got a few watchers out there, just a couple of people. Curious, what kind of, do you enjoy the background music today, or do you want me to pick something else? And if so, what genre would you like? Ready, Kim? Time. 39. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Explore Scientific Stage, Mr. Kent, with a T, Mart. And your audio's broken again. Jeez, I cannot win this. Why is your audio not working again? Oh, wow. Boot this thing. Is your microphone even on?
Yes, it is.
Oh, there you are.
We didn't do a mic test. He was in such giddy mood to get started that he forgot to do a mic test.
You're just late.
Giddy.
Late.
He was giddy with excitement.
You were late.
Are we ready to go now?
Well, we're on air.
Okay, but give me a Price is Right entry.
I don't remember how that goes.
Oh, okay. He'll have to work on that so I can get a Price is Right entry. Hello, everybody. Kent Martz, for Explore Scientific. Going to be talking for a few minutes. We're running a little bit behind. Going to be talking about a global star party, and that made me start thinking, what can we talk about? And I thought, let's talk about star parties. If you've never heard the term star party before, it's very simple. It's a gathering or a single person where you get together and show people the stars. And, star parties can even be, little club events up to giant national events like the Winter Star Party, the Texas Star Party, the Okie-Tex Star Party. There's all sorts of Nebraska Star Parties coming up, and I'm going to be going to that one this year, it looks like, up in Nebraska, in the dark Nebraska, the third week of July, if I remember correctly. Don't remember the dates, but we'll be talking about that in the future. So anyway, if you do astronomy, it brings me a lot of enjoyment to take my telescope and go to a public place and show people the stars, whether it's the planets, the stars, a nebula, whatever. You can also do solar astronomy. Tyler Bowman went to Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art here in Northwest Arkansas on Friday and did a star party for 4 or 5 hours. And it was really cool for him and Scott were there, and they showed a couple hundred people the sun through a solar safe filter, which we have. And so here's one version of it. This is a solar safe filter. And hi.
You said I interrupt you too much.
Well, I thought you were stretching there for a minute.
Oh,
Paul.
yeah, stretching.
What you saying hi for?
No, about 10 years ago, maybe. I'm not quite sure when it was. I was walking downtown Dixon Street with my then wife, who is, thank God, my ex-wife. And we were walking, and there was a bunch of old dudes with telescopes. And they showed me Saturn. And
very possibly could have been me.
Well, I was wondering,
not
because
me.
he was trying to sell me Quaker Oats.
That wasn't me. That's what I sell you pine nuts.
Pine nuts.
And cattails. I'm Wilford Brimley, not the Quaker Oats guy.
Diabetes. Anyway, but no, it's I got to look through a telescope and I enjoyed it because it was something that I don't normally get to, never got to do.
Go where people are. Just because there's light pollution doesn't mean, right now you could do a new moon is coming up on like the 28th or 9th or something like that. So a few days. So, in early May would be a good time to go out and when there's a new moon rising in the western sky at sunset, to go out where people are, the city square or a park or a ball game, whatever, where people are, and just set up your telescope and let them come look through your telescope at the moon. For many people, it's the first time they've ever looked at the moon through a telescope. It's very gratifying. The moon and Saturn, and generally will move some people to tears. If you do have 100 people, there's going to be one person gasp and have some emotional reaction. And amazingly, you want to stereotype it. It's men will do it, women will do it. Kids generally don't have that sort of emotional experience, but adults most assuredly do when they see the moon. Not even at high power, just a nice low power view with like what I have here next to me, the Explore Scientific 102 millimeter telescope. This is the Essential Series telescope. We also have in stock now the FCD 102 millimeters in carbon fiber telescope, which is going to be a beautiful black tube, not this ceramic white metal tube that you see, or not ceramic, but painted white metal tube that you see. Careful, Annie, I might make you come over here and stand in with me again. Oh yeah, I'm on live on Facebook. What you got going on? Another question that's solved live on the air?
No.
Oh, join me over here. We're talking about star parties.
We're going to have a party?
We have parties all the time.
We do?
It's a party to work here. You know that.
It is 100% a party to work here.
Except having to work with Tyler. And that's a party of
That's
a
just
different
the comedic event.
Could be. If you want to look at it that way.
It is 100% a comedic.
So anyway, you know, a solar safe filter gives you a way to do it in the daytime. If you have a community festival going on, you can get a sun catcher solar safe filter. These come in various sizes. You pick the correct size for your telescope. This one, it comes with little hard black plastic that you can cut down so you can put it on your telescope and get a really nice tight fit, because you don't want this on there loose. You don't want it blowing off. And when are you going to use this? Every time, just simply hold it up at arm's length and sort of really quick wave it around the sun to see if you can see any pinholes. If you have a pinhole or a crack, throw it away. Don't use it. We can sell another piece of film to you.
Why?
Well, do you want a magnified sunlight, even a pinhole going into your pupil? I don't.
That's a good point.
I don't. I don't think you do either. I don't want any of our customers to have that experience
even the
either.
tiniest hole. Is that what you're saying?
Renders this
Tiny.
dangerous.
Yes.
And so that's why it's not expensive, you know, for these. They're made out of cardboard. The film is cut to fit it, and it just slides down in there. That's why it's important to protect these, because this is a, you know, piece of serious astronomical gear that you can use to safely view the sun. Never point a telescope, Annie, at the sun, right? Because what'll happen?
You'll hurt yourself.
It's like a Christmas story in Ralphie. You'll put your eye out. Yes.
I actually have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
Okay, so let's say I get this for an ED80.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you know, you get it for an ED80. You say the film's cut specifically for it.
For this frame.
For this frame.
Right.
Right. For this frame. So we've had many customers say, well, it's got like this much, like whatever, like that much. It doesn't cover the whole lens cell.
Well, this one won't cover the whole lens cell because it's got a mask right here. You're looking at the sun. It's bright.
I'm bringing out a point that a customer would say, you know, hey, the film doesn't completely cover the whole.
What they want is this hole to be bigger, and you could cut that hole bigger if you want to, but you don't need that hole bigger because you're looking at the sun, and it's just bright.
Yeah.
And whether you have, you know, a hole this size or a hole that size is irrelevant. You're not going to notice any difference at the eyepiece until these get really small, right? Yeah. Or if you put this somehow on a 8-inch Dobsonian telescope, that's going to be a problem, right? It's so small. The secondary or a Maxitov telescope, that hole is going to be the size of the secondary mirror holder, and it's not going to let very much light pass. That's where it's going to be a problem. But
we have filters that are designed specifically, that are cut specifically for a matte cast or a refractor or a or a Doppler.
So
that's right.
Pekka has a really good point. He says the foil is an extremely strong material, but should not be tested with the shotgun.
It might bounce off of it. What are you talking about?
I'm thinking it's not. Now, I will tell you this. When the eclipse happened in 2017, people were talking about using them on their eye when they looked in the eyepiece. That's brutally bad. There's a video out there I did, and it's out there on Facebook, and Scott did one as well, where if you put solar safe glasses on and then look in the eyepiece, it will instantly, as in no time will pass, and it'll burn a hole through it. And you can sit there and just, like with a laser, just draw lines and stuff.
You're talking about when you put on solar glasses.
If these were solar safe glasses, and I put them on, and then look through the telescope, eyeball gone, right?
You have compressed all the energy.
Yeah, all that energy, it turns into a laser basically, and it's It's a super magnifying glass, just like you can set leaves on fire. You can set your eyeball on fire.
And the
effectively.
same
Boil it.
thing could be said for your camera as well. So if you're doing that, you don't shove your camera up at the sun and take a picture without a filter on it. It'll boil that sensor and it's
destroy
over.
you. So where I'm going with this is the solar safe film should always go on the very front of the optical system. So if it's your eyes, it should go right here in front of your eyes. If it's a telescope, the solar safe film should go right there on the telescope. There are some companies who sell what they call solar eyepieces, and they have a solar safe, theoretically, piece of right here. But when you put that eyepiece or a screw-in filter, right, that's supposedly a solar safe filter, the problem is that the telescope gathers up all that light, squishes it down to a pinpoint, and it generates so much heat that that glass is going to crack. Do not buy those. The solar safe film always goes as close to the sun as you can get it on your system. In this case, on the front of the dew shield, right? Never try and put solar safe film here or in the diagonal or across anywhere. It goes on the front of the telescope. Great star parties, you can do a solar astronomy during the day. Right now, we have sunspots all the time on the sun because we're going towards solar maximum. And the next couple of years is going to be a good time to do solar outreach during the day in the afternoons or in the mornings at a farmer's market or somewhere like that.
Tyler and I actually were just looking at a picture of the sun that he took a few days ago. And then I don't know if he took the second picture. I don't know. Anyway, somebody took the same picture of the same spots and they were way bigger.
It's really cool because sunspots over a period of half an hour or an hour, if they're really active, you can see them grow and a new one pop up. You can be watching, you see something looks weird, and it starts getting darker and darker, and then it gets bigger and bigger and turns into a sunspot.
What did Scott say that you don't want to try to land on the sunspot? You got to wait till nightfall before you can land on the sun.
I think he's trying to make a joke.
That's what Scott
so.
A
said.
dad joke.
Yeah.
So
what
Tyler and I
Scott
were
said.
having this conversation just a few minutes ago about what is a solar.
What is a sunspot?
What is a sunspot?
Sunspot? What did Scott tell you?
Well, I don't know if Scott told me this, but somebody, I don't know who it was, but I'm finding that sometimes the things that are told to me here are not always 100% accurate, but then are. Anyways.
We're testing you. It's a gullibility measure.
Oh gosh. Anyways, luckily I do my own research, but somebody told me that sunspots are where the surface of the sun is cooler in that area than other spots.
That's correct. Why is it cooler there?
I told Tyler because the sun was dying. I don't know.
Cooler there because some lines of magnetism. The sun's a big magnetic engine, basically.
Okay.
And has a lot, just like the Earth has poles of magnetism. The Earth has loops. The sun has all sorts of loops of magnetism. When those loops get tangled, inside of them they stop the heat from coming to the surface.
Oh.
Okay, so they sort of like plug up the transportation system and cause a clog, if you will.
Okay.
And so heat's not coming out of that sunspot, so it looks darker.
Okay.
Now then, if that sunspot was by itself with no sun around it, was just the brightness it is, it would appear astoundingly bright. The reason it appears dark is because it's darker than the thing you compare it to. So it looks darker, but it's really still producing light and still producing energy, but that sunspot, contrast-wise, looks dark. Because of the solar safe filter, it looks dark, right?
Okay.
But it's really very bright, but because of the contrast ratio, it appears dark.
This is reminding me of medical things terminology, like for X-rays and MRI.
Yes, same sort of system. Yeah, sort of.
MRI show dark matter and X-rays show light.
Yes,
Yeah.
every time I've had an MRI, the doctor has come back and said, "We found the problem. You have dark matter."
I was going to say, you have a brain. All right, so we need to get shut down and get ready for the Amazon Live broadcast.
If you have
here
questions
at 2
or you
o'clock.
want to know more about something, go to our Amazon Live.
Right.
I've put the link in the comments. Go there, and at just a few minutes, we'll start again, and we're there for an hour, and you can ask us anything you want or just flirt with Kent, I guess.
And we'll be going to be talking about star parties because this is Global Star Party Day,
Parties.
and that's what we're going to talk about. So,
Is there kegs at star parties?
are there kegs?
Kegs.
Like beer kegs?
These
Yeah.
are family-friendly events.
Some are, some aren't. Depends on what the one you throw. Like coming up in the end of April, out at a place called The Farm near Eureka Springs, Arkansas, is a music festival called
right.
Stars and Sauce. And the stars part is Explore Scientific, a couple of staff members, and some volunteers from Sugar Creek Astronomical Society, and other people from Sugar Creek Astronomical Society are going to be out there, and we're going to have, I don't know, a dozen telescopes or more.
Tons of
I
music.
think there's 3,000 to 4,000 people coming to this. We've done one before. It was a great event, staying up, looking at stuff through the telescopes. Turns out that music festivals and astronomy go together really well, and there will be consumption of beverages and
like
other
to
things
party.
there.
I don't know.
We're going to be working. We're going to be working doing telescopes, but a lot of people are going to come up and view the telescopes. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah, it'll be
We probably will do a live broadcast from there at some point. So, on behalf of Annie and the disembodied voice, Paul, who does not have a face made for TV, as do I not have a face made for TV. I'm
face
Kent
for
Martz
radio.
with Explore Scientific. See you in a few minutes over on Amazon Live.